Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is the GameFans Podcast number 18. I'm your host, Mark Hearn, and with me, as always, are Ashley King and Nick Kosmides. Say what's up, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Got a whole lot to talk about today. We've got releases from the big three of console gaming, as well as a few news tidbits here and there, and along with just a little bit of casual convo. So sit back, relax. This is the GameFans Podcast number 18. Let's go. So let's get started with the new releases of the week. It's been an interesting week, or, one would say. Let's talk about the PlayStation Network and what they've brought to the table this week. Nick, you want to take that?
Sure. Real quickly, PS3 saw a big release this week with Beyond Two Souls. There was also a double dip, maybe triple dip, with Borderlands 2 Game of the Year edition. Capcom released the Essentials. It's just called Capcom Essentials. Disgaea D2, A Brighter Darkness, was released. Dishonored Game of the Year edition. Just Dance 2014, which I think saw a release on all of our platforms. Also, Skylanders Swap Force is coming out this weekend, again, for all of our platforms. Those were the retail releases for PS3. On PlayStation Network, we saw Atomic Ninjas come out for also PS3 and Vita as a cross-buy, which is kind of neat. Just pay once, and you get both versions of it.
I really enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. I've yet to play it. Battle of Tiles EX, Disgaea D2, also Dishonored Game of the Year, and Just Dance 2014 are all released digitally on the PlayStation Network if you prefer digital instead of physical retail. I'm not sure if this is an exclusive, but I haven't seen it really anywhere else. It's F1 2013 for all those Formula One race fans out there. Orc Attack Flatulent Rebellion. I will be playing this week, but this also was released on PlayStation Network, and you may see it in the Xbox section. And last for PSN on PS3 is Sniper Elite V2. This is an old game, if I'm not mistaken, the digital version of it. Yeah. So I think V3 is coming out next for current next-gen consoles. Last section on here for PSN. Vita got nothing at retail, guys. Nothing. So hopefully you weren't looking for something, because nothing came out this week. But PSN, again, Atomic Ninjas, again, cross-buy. And then here's an interesting one, Malicious Rebirth. This came out on Vita as a digital download, and this was a PSN game for PS3, originally called Malicious. And I went back and downloaded it because, I know you don't like to call them free, Mark, but it was free with PlayStation Plus.
It came with your subscription.
Yeah, but I paid for that a long time ago. So I went and downloaded Malicious and played it for a little bit, and it's basically like Shadow of the Colossus, I guess, is pretty much what it is.
That piques my interest.
This is kind of a grind. It's not the one part of Shadow of the Colossus is not in this, is the traversing, the open world traversing to the next Colossi. And it's non-linear. So it's almost like how, I guess, like a mobile phone game would be laid out. You kind of walk to the level you want to go to, which is 2 feet in front of you, and then you play it, and then you beat these little things to earn XP or whatever, and then you destroy the big boss, and when he goes down, then it bumps you out to the menu, which is a big 3D room, and then you just rinse and repeat. When you're done with all the levels, you're done with the game, I guess. So it's okay. But that's on Vita redone with some extra stuff. And Worms Revolution Extreme, another PS3 digital game. I think it was also on Xbox Live Arcade. Redone for Vita with cross-play features, which is very interesting. You can play, one player on the Vita and then one player on the PS3. You can play multiplayer against each other. And then I put this one in here for you guys because I don't know anything about it, but PS2 Classic released on PSN is called Heavenly Guardian. And I don't know if you guys know anything about that.
Never heard of that one.
Never heard of it?
Yeah,
it's supposed to be like
a
pretty rare game. That is all for Sony PlayStation releases this week.
Okay.
How about Xbox?
That was quite a bit, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Only two things that I can really see on my radar that came out. There's Let's Sing and Dance, which is some type of digital download game. Feels like Connect Shovelware, probably. But it's $10. That's available through the Xbox Live Arcade. And we've also got Orc Attack, Flatulent Rebellion, same thing that you just referenced for the PSN. That's really it. It was a really light, release. Nothing mind blowing for the 360 that came out, and that's pretty much it.
Nintendo.
Unfortunately, the eShop, which is, they usually announce what's being released today. Nothing.
So sad.
Goose egg.
In terms of Wii U retail, Just Dance 2014, as you mentioned, and Skylander Swap Force, I'm sure that's also coming to Xbox 360. In terms of 3DS, there was one eShop game called Escape from Zombie City. But, this is the big but here, the retail for 3DS that's coming up, October 12th is Pokemon X and Y, and
Yahoo.
I know so many people that are excited about that. I'm going to get Pokemon X myself. I don't know anyone that's getting Y. It's kind of strange.
Why is that?
Why ask why?
I don't know. And of course, Skylander Swap Force is also coming to 3DS. So
that's crazy, yeah.
Multi-platform release coming to every single platform that it could possibly be on, including mobile phone, iPod, and iPhone.
Yeah, sadly, both Skylanders and Disney Infinity haven't been released or aren't even slated to be released on Vita, which kind of bums me out because I think it would be just as good on Vita as it would on 3DS.
That's really interesting considering it's getting a 3DS release but not a Vita release.
Yeah, Disney Infinity was the same. But I think the 3DS version of it was like a different type of experience.
Yeah,
maybe more toy box-ish.
It's a completely new thing. So even if you play Skylanders on the Wii U, if you get it for the 3DS and you could use the same characters, it's a different game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did want to ask this. I have a bit of a confession to make. I'm not much of a Pokemon guy. So what's the big no-no about getting the Y version or Y game?
It's not really that there's a no-no. It's just the people that I've surveyed that said, oh yeah, I'm going to get Pokemon when it releases. All of them have said that they're going to get Pokemon X.
Interesting.
So
is it just a character difference or themed difference?
Yeah, I think the X legendary Pokemon looks a little bit cooler than the one that's Y. I don't know their names, forgive me, but most people tend to judge books by their covers, and the X Pokemon definitely looks a lot better than the Y Pokemon in my opinion.
They typically have released them in like a Pokemon Fire and Ice, right? Or what was the other one, like Platinum and Silver or something like that? Platinum Diamond.
Yeah, there's always a dual release, and hardcore Pokemon fans will look at the roster and see which one has the Pokemon that are most suited to their play style or the Pokemon that they want the most, and they'll buy that game. Some people even buy both of them. I mean...
Yeah, I have friends that are hardcore Pokemon. They're like 30-something years old, and they're like, yeah, I buy every single one. And they play them all.
But yeah, when October 12th rolls around, which is 2 days, I mean, that's what, is it Saturday? I think it is Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
I will
That would be Saturday.
Pokemon X.
Yeah. Now, I really quickly wanted to add, because I put this in the sidebar, Mark, but I think it's more pertinent in our new release section, since we announced a few things that haven't actually been released but are coming out like this weekend. You guys know who Telltale Games is, right?
Of course.
Of course.
And I know that you're going to say The Wolf Among Us.
We already know what you're about to say. Yeah.
Man, you just stole it. But yeah, The Wolf Among Us is coming out on Friday, exclusively on Friday, to PC and Xbox Live Arcade, which bums me out because I have a PlayStation. But, all those Steam guys, I've seen a lot of chatter on Twitter and a lot of people saying they pre-ordered on Steam because I think it's 10% off.
I'm excited about it.
What about you? Ashley, did you pre-order it or anything?
I haven't pre-ordered it, but I'm definitely excited about it.
Okay. Because I think it's 10% off if you do pre-order.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a shot.
It looks really, really good. It looks just really good. And the more interviews I hear, because they're really good about not spoiling anything, obviously. And it's easy to do when they haven't talked about future episodes. They're really focused on the first episode. So yeah, I'm really excited for it to come to PlayStation Network, and that's actually on the 15th. So next week.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the release of The Walking Dead is any indication, that The Wolf Among Us will be on multiple platforms, including mobile. So
Yeah. No mention of Vita though. And they've already got The Walking Dead on Vita now.
Yeah, that's kind of strange considering they had a Walking Dead Vita bundle.
Yeah. So I mean, I think at one point, and I didn't want to write anything down like this because I couldn't find the source, but they did at one point mention, I swear, that they were going to release it on Vita. But they may do the same thing that they did with The Walking Dead, where they waited till all the episodes came out, and then they released it all at once. And that kind of makes sense. So we'll have to wait maybe on Vita.
Well, that covering the releases, it's time to move into some news, folks. Let's get back to Sony one more time.
So real quick, guys, pre-orders for PlayStation 4, we all know are through the roof, and I guess we found out now they're at 1.5 million, and still climbing, of course. But that's a pretty big number, and let's hope that Sony can, manufacture enough consoles at release to satiate all those pre-orders, and hopefully some walk-ins, or at least all those lines. Second on the list, Sony says they wanted to include the camera, the PlayStation camera, inside the $399 bundle we all know and love. This is pretty cool. Coming from Sony, as we've heard this before, but never have they actually stepped up and said it in great detail why they did it, why they removed it and whatnot. But we have a post on PS4 Daily.com detailing this story. But it got removed. They just wanted to keep the price point low and competitive, and I'm pretty sure they knew Kinect would be bundled in the Xbox One, and they figured that was a good strategy, which I think was the right strategy to take. Third on the list is Amazon US and UK. They got a couple deals going on for not just PS4, in fact, also for the Xbox One in the UK side, but for US, if you trade in $30 worth of games and whatever else they'll allow you to trade that are gaming related, some accessories, they'll give you, obviously the $30 credit for your trades, but then an additional $30 that you can put towards the purchase of a DualShock 4. So if you're looking for an extra controller and a way to get that, and you've got a bunch of games you want to get rid of and don't really care how much you get for those games, this would be a good way to offload those extra old games and get yourself a second DualShock 4. In the UK, they have that trade-up program we've talked about before, Mark, where you buy the 360 or the PS3 version of certain games, and I think there's about 6 or so right now, and then you can play them right now, and then when the PS4 Xbox One comes out, you trade them into Amazon. So you ship them off, and they'll pay your shipping, and when they get it, they process it, and they give you like $25 credit or whatever. It's basically, or I think they give you more than that, but basically what they're doing is they're taking the old versions of your games and they're charging you $10 for the next gen versions.
That's what I plan on doing with my copy of Madden. I got Madden 25 for my birthday, and it's definitely going to get traded and upgraded.
That's awesome. I wish that they didn't make you trade away the old copy, and that's why I prefer the digital thing going on right now on PSN, where if you buy the Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, on PSN, obviously you can't trade that away and they don't take it from you, but then you can still get the PS4 version for $10 because they know you bought the PS3 version. I think that's awesome, and I hope they do that a lot on PSN, and hopefully Microsoft will step up and do that digitally on the Xbox Live Arcade for Xbox One. One last thing. So the official PlayStation Link app is coming. We've talked about this maybe once or twice before, but I guess they're calling it PlayStation Link on Vita, and it will be delivered with the next firmware update. I have a problem with this, guys. I really wish this wasn't delivered in a firmware update. I wish it was delivered just put on the store, and you could just go on the store and download it if you want it. But having it just automatically be installed on my system, I'm not cool with that. Last thing I need is more bloatware to throw into my, folder that I've designated unnecessary apps. So that's my opinion and my mini rant.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they wouldn't make it so it's just something that you can download, but Maybe they feel it's necessary to system operation for new Vitas or something. I don't know.
If somebody has a Vita and they don't get a PS4, now they have this stupid app on their thing. I mean, I shouldn't call it stupid yet, but obviously I'm going to say that it's a marketing thing, so that every time you turn on your Vita, you see this app and it makes you want a PS4.
Nah, it'll make me cringe, like you were saying. Like,
yeah,
that sounds like something that a smartphone carrier would do with a good phone.
Exactly.
Like, here's our useless TV app. You're never going to use it, but it's on your new phone. Enjoy.
Looking at you, AT&T.
Samsung. I got so much bloatware on my Samsung.
Yeah, that's one of the things that have an iPhone. There's you still get bloatware from Apple because you get Apple Maps and things like that, but they don't feel like gimmicky things like when I had an Android phone on Sprint, I had like Sprint TV, Sprint's visual voicemail and all that kind of stuff on my phone. I don't use that crap.
Well, it's funny that you say the iPhone because I've seen a lot of people take like screenshots of their first screen on their iPhone, and I'm not even joking, but more often than not, I should say, the little newsstand app is like in the bottom right corner of that first screen, and it has no books in it. And if that's to be believed, that means they don't use the app, right? Like if the app is being used, then that little newsstand is populated.
Right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So same thing. Yeah. There's apps that many people don't use, and that's my point. I mean, we should be past that by now.
You think so? But moving along, and as far as the Xbox One goes or Xbox One news goes, there's talk of Phil Spencer hinted at that they could be working on cloud-based games for the Xbox One. And when I say cloud-based, I mean I strictly relied on the cloud. This was something that was discussed on Twitter. It was very candid. It wasn't flat out like, hey, we're making cloud games or anything like that. But it's something that they're obviously working on, and this has been confirmed. Cloud's a big buzzword this gen, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
PlayStation's got a lot of cloud stuff going on. Maybe Nintendo not so much.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at it, like Ashley's PC master race over there. So, I mean, this stuff is old news to her. She's looking at it like whatever, but it's something that both the two new consoles.
I will say one of the features that I really enjoy of newer MMOs is if you download those on PC, sometimes the initial download is huge. Like, for instance, if you were getting started with World of Warcraft and you needed to download the file, I think it's like 25 gigabytes now, and that's huge for a game. So the cloud-based game aspect of that now is it downloads a small file, and then it downloads in the background as you play, which, I mean, that's the cloud-based gaming that they have now, but can you imagine, like, a game based in the cloud where you had to load everything from the internet? I mean, how would that work?
You'd have to have or you just have to have a really, Gaikai is one thing. On Live was another option. Microsoft appears to be doing something, but people are just going to you're going to have a boss internet connection to really enjoy.
I mean,
stuff.
I could understand the applications of cloud services like background downloading and letting you play the game as it downloads. Those services make sense, but a cloud-based game entirely based on you connecting to the servers, there's no server-side or no client-side code, everything is on the servers, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, it's one of those
things. Wait and
things.
See how they do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we're gonna have to see, and there's probably gonna be all kinds of requirements for it. Like you have to have this type of internet connection, and your experience may vary. Yada yada yada. One of those kind of things. But
yeah, that's a big one.
But it is in the works. In other news, the Xbox One was spotted in the wild again. Guess what? Some kid has an Xbox One, and he just did a walkthrough similar to what we saw like a few weeks back. He talked about it. The young man had an accent. It sounded like he was Australian.
I saw this.
He sounded like he was Australian to me. Some people think he might have been British. I don't mean to offend any of our UK or Australian listeners out there.
He kind of sounded South African to me.
That's another one to throw in the.
He sounded like he had a Commonwealth accent. We'll leave it at that.
There you go.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people were teasing the kid because he was just like, "Here it is, Xbox One. I got it for reasons." He was just like really vague about it, And then he was just like, this is this, and that's that.
Yeah, the kid said a lot.
So, however he however he acquired the console,
it wasn't a retail console. It was a development kit. That's what was happening on that. And the post that I read with that video, the guy even changed the post because I think in the post he said it was a retail one. And you notice the box he kept pointing to. It came in that box. It came in that box. Came in that box. That was just a plain, brown or white box. Simple, dev kit.
When the video was linked on Reddit, Major Nelson actually posted on it and said, "This is unfortunate, but being dealt with." That was his comment on the video.
He just caused somebody's game to be delayed. His brother's a developer or something working on a game.
Well, I could see if it was a development kit, I could see this being unfortunate because the kid, got his hands on a development kit. Clearly, he's not a developer. If the kid doesn't even know the cables, when he got to the cables, here's some cables that you get. I don't even know what they're for, but here they are. Come on, dude. The left is the power brick. The other one is an HDMI cable. It's really not that hard. So clearly he's not a developer. Therefore, he should not have his hands on a dev kit if that's in fact what it was. And if it was a retail kit in a generic box, then obviously he shouldn't have had it, at all. So I think that's I think that's the two scenarios that would make Major Nelson say this is being dealt with.
So how about this? How about we can seal this with this? If there's any developers listening or anybody who works for Microsoft, you have access to an Xbox One, guard it with your life. It might cost you your job.
Don't let your kids know you have it.
Or your kid, brother or sister. Just, guard it with your life. Also, moving on, though, I ran a poll earlier in the week on Xbox One Daily just asking how much would you pay for Xbox Fitness? Because it's going to be a subscription-based app. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's just a workout app that's tied to all the different TV personalities like Tony Horton, Jillian Michaels, Sean T for Insanity and all those different workouts. But it's going to be a free app for a year for Xbox Live Gold subscribers. But the thing is, there is going to be a subscription fee at some point. So I did a quick poll asking, would you guys pay for something like this?
I think we talked about this last time.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't pay for it, but I'm betting that they're going to take the MMO subscription and charge $14.99 a month for it.
But here's the thing. People freak out about hearing a price like that, but I did a little digging. P90X is like $100 for the basic plan.
Yes.
It's like $100.
And you get to keep it. You
and
pay one price and you keep it.
Yeah, but here's another thing. Then you add in all those other workouts. There's P90X, there's Insanity, there's whatever Jillian Michaels has, and there's a couple other, big name trainers there. Who's to say that they might not break it up by trainer? Like you can get P90X for, $5 a month or $3 a month or whatever. You know what I mean? Who knows? But it's just when you really think about how expensive those are individually, it could very well carry a high price tag. It could be $10 a month, or like Ashley said, $15 a month.
So I just cast my vote on your poll, and 84.48% are with me, saying that this should be between $5 and $10.
That would be the sweet spot.
What's to stop people from demoing the workouts that this has? Say that you get an Xbox and you subscribe or get Xbox Fitness with your gold membership, and say you really like the P90X workout, but you don't like any of the other things that come with it. What's to stop you from just buying that workout from the vendor and not subscribing to Xbox Fitness?
That could be a possibility.
It still sounds like a win-win. Maybe not so much for Xbox.
I feel like you'd be saving money over time if you're serious about doing a routine workout and you find one that you like over the other. I personally would buy the one that I liked and just not get Xbox Fitness.
And now, see, that could be part of the thing. Like I was saying, they might have it broken up to whereas you could get the workouts you like and you don't have to have the other ones. And perhaps there'll be evolving content. Like it's not going to be the same workout that you like. When you buy P90X, you get the DVDs and that's it.
Yeah,
they're not updated. Perhaps they've yet to reveal the details about the about the relationships they have with the different content producers. So it could be one of those things to whereas they release it in waves and there's new content updated like maybe season, like every season or something like that. Who knows? But if they package it correctly, maybe people spend money. This is kind of one of those things I'm kind of like on the fence about though.
Yeah.
But all sweating and fitness aside, one last little tidbit here. The Xbox One regular standard edition is now available to pre-order on Amazon. It's listing a date of December 31st, so it's good for the rest of the year. That could be a placeholder date, so there's a chance that it could come sooner, but some people did say that they received notifications saying that it's going to ship in January, so I think Amazon's just starting to stockpile pre-orders.
That makes sense. I mean, Amazon's huge, so.
But that's pretty much it in the land of Xbox. Ashley, you have anything to talk about in terms of Nintendo?
I do, and I hate to say it, but some of the things that I have to talk about are negative.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ubisoft announced an Assassin's Creed 4 Freedom Cry DLC for all the other consoles, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, they're all getting this DLC. And no mention was made of Wii U, so a lot of people were like, hey, is this DLC coming to the Wii U? And it's been confirmed that it is not. So if you're getting Assassin's Creed 4 on your Wii U, you will not be able to get the Freedom Cry DLC or the Season Pass that is releasing with that. And a lot of people are angry. I mean,
I don't blame them.
Rightfully so. I mean, it's one of those things to where some people make the argument that, well, the Wii isn't a true next gen system. It's not what the PlayStation 4 is. It's not what the Xbox One is. Those are true next gen systems, and this type of stuff, it's getting to the point where some developers are treating it like a second rate system, not making games, not releasing DLC, not releasing online content, and that's not cool.
Injustice had the same problem. Some DLC was eventually released for the Wii U for Injustice, but initially the first DLC releases didn't come. And this Ubisoft isn't the first publisher to do this, which is disheartening, and I know a lot of Nintendo fans are upset about it. But speaking of Injustice, the Ultimate Edition of the game was announced, which is essentially a Game of the Year that includes all of the DLC that was released over this past year. That is also not coming to Wii U, that's just like sticking the dagger in and twisting. It's coming to every other major platform except for Wii U, so that's something to not look forward to.
This is thrusting me into the arms of the other two consoles.
And you know what? Third parties, a lot of the times when people ask them, why isn't this game coming to Wii U? They'll say, oh, well, this game didn't sell very well. And I have to wonder, if you're constantly leaving DLC out, your online experience isn't that good, why do you think people aren't buying your game? The Wii U version of Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, that's still coming to Wii U. It's not exclusive anymore. But it's going to cost $50 instead of $30, which is on the other platforms. And a lot of people are upset about this too. Now this one, I can understand the price rate or the price hike, and Square Enix said the same thing that I speculated, that because this game has not been released on Wii U before, and because they tuned it specifically to Wii U for the gamepad and all the special features, they're charging $50. And the game was previously released on PS3, Xbox 360, PC, so they're only charging $30 there because they want people to double dip. They want you, if you played Deus Ex Human Revolution in 2011, they want you to buy this new director's cut in 2013, so they're giving you a price cut. And I kind of understand that, but of course a lot of Wii U people are upset over that.
Sounds like a conspiracy to me.
People are saying that it's unfair because the touchscreen controls that they tailored for the Wii U are actually coming to the other platforms via Smart Glass and the PlayStation Vita. But I feel like they're probably going to feel a little hacked together, worse than they would on the Wii U. I don't know. Some people don't feel like that $20 is worth the premium experience, I guess.
Where I come from, $20 is $20. So, yeah. Not to throw this out. Well, yeah, I got to do this. Killer Instinct is $20 for for like a mid-level package where you still get all the characters. That's a game.
But that's a good price.
Crimson Dragon is $20 on the Xbox One. Also, it's a game. So $20 is that's kind of a hefty premium. You can get
true.
There are Vita games that are $20. There are 3DS games that I'm pretty sure are $20. So
that Malicious Rebirth is $14.99.
Yep. And more positive news, the Wii Fit meter that's coming with Wii Fit U, they actually released 2 new colors. It's a white fit meter with a red and green ring around it. The one that we've seen in advertising and everything has been black to match the Wii U, and it's had a silver ring. But these 2 new fit meters are designed to match the new Mario and Luigi Wiimotes that are released, and I covered those on Wii U Daily. They're kind of cute. But they're releasing so many Wiimotes, just like tons of them. So many packages are coming with Wii remotes. They're releasing these exclusive Wii remotes. I'm thinking, are you still making the Wii, or are we making the Wii U here?
Maybe they're stuck in the past.
Maybe.
Well, that's good for all those collectors out there that just have to have every single color of everything.
Yeah, that's true, but sometimes it's time to move on. And like she's saying, why not just make different game pads if that's the case? But don't, you know what I mean? Or different types of Pro controllers, but releasing something that's more so for your last gen console, it is kind of bizarre. So does that pretty much do it for Nintendo, or is there anything else?
That's pretty much it for Nintendo. I wish I had more, and I wish most of it weren't so negative, but there it is, laid on the table.
Thanks a lot, Ashley.
I'm all
Are you blaming me
too.
specifically?
You know it. So let's talk about games some more. What have you guys been playing?
I've been playing quite a bit. This past weekend, my family went camping without me because, and I'll explain, I was supposed to go to a buddy's birthday party in San Francisco. I had never been on one of those Blue and Cold Fleet things to Alcatraz. It's something that typically tourists do, and having grown up in the San Francisco Bay Area, I never got around to it, so that's something he wanted to do. And because of this beautiful government shutdown, Alcatraz was closed. So I sat at home by myself and played some games.
Wait, just real quick, for those outside of the U.S., we have no government. Government shut down about a week ago. So
yeah, so it affected me, but in a positive way. I was able to play some games. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go see my buddy and all his friends. I rarely see them, but I did beat Spec Ops: The Line, which was crazy. It was epic. It was a good game. I also beat The Walking Dead finally. Talk about an easy platinum. And I beat Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation on my Vita, finally. But the thing I love about the Assassin's Creed games is that even after you beat it, you don't want to leave the game. You just want to keep plugging away and, unlocking the rest of the stuff or purchasing whatever there is to purchase, as is the case with this game. So that was a lot of fun. But, I played a little Madden 13. I think I may have mentioned that I picked that up on Vita super cheap. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and I did start Assassin's Creed 3 on PS3. Finally. And,
I hope you enjoy that more than I did.
So far, I'm enjoying it, but I'm really early in the game.
Right now, you're just playing Haytham, though, so...
Yes, and I don't know. I think maybe I'm getting a different perspective of the game having played the AC3 Liberation on Vita, because the layout of the game, the structure, the UI, the menu, the map, all that stuff is really familiar to me. Versus if I had just come off of, AC2 or maybe one of the other middle games, it would be foreign. So it's all kind of familiar. And there was actually a mission, a short, not very good mission in Liberation that Connor was in, which was kind of neat. So he was like running right alongside the girl. Of course, I don't know her name because I don't pay attention to the dialogue.
That's one of the main reasons to play those games.
I don't care.
I just want to go
assassinate. No, I just want to go assassinate people. That's really all I care. I'm the guy
I think Assassin's Creed 3 would have been a lot better had Haytham been the main character instead of Connor.
Yes. Yeah, he's kind of a cool. I like him. He's boss. He's he walks around and he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder or anything, but like the pirates on the ship, they're like, "Oi, what are you looking at?" And he's like, well, "I'm looking at you, dude." And they're like, "All right, I'm gonna hit you." And then he's like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And then he beats him down. Like, I think that's pretty cool.
I played about 40 minutes of that game on my Wii U, and that's pretty much it.
Is the same problem on the Wii U version where the captain is not talking, but he's talking?
No, I didn't notice that.
Is that problem there? Is it only on like PS3 or something?
Maybe
you know
so.
what I'm talking about, Ashley. You kind of warned me about it.
Yeah, I experienced on PlayStation 3 since that's what I played Assassin's Creed 3 on. I don't know about Wii U, but
No, I don't remember any weird bugs like that. Like he's talking but his lips don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The captain of the vessel that you're taking to Boston. Yeah, he's like on the deck. I think it happens 2 times, maybe just one, but it happened and it was very short, so it's really no big deal. But still, like, I'm baffled as to how, QA didn't catch that, or how it even, came to. I could understand a bug like this happening, like maybe the revision of the game before Goldmaster 6 or whatever they made it to. It didn't have the bug, and then they had to go to Goldmaster 7 to fix one more thing, and then suddenly the bug appeared, and there wasn't enough time for QA to address it, and have the developers fix it. I could see that being a case, but I still don't understand how that happened. So that's pretty much what I played.
How about you, Ashley?
I know I've gushed about this, but I'm still playing Rune Factory 4 and enjoying it. I'm finishing up Scribblenauts Unmasked, and that review's going to go up tomorrow. I started playing Demon Souls simply because I love Dark Souls so much, and I got Demon Souls for free from my PlayStation Plus subscription, and I hadn't delved into that yet, but I did, and I spent most of yesterday playing that. But I also got into the Dark Souls 2 beta, which I can't access until October 12th, so I've got a dilemma. October 12th is when I get Pokemon X, so do I play Pokemon X or do I play Dark Souls 2 beta? That's a big decision there.
Why not do both?
Yeah, good.
You're going to double fist a PlayStation 3 controller and a 3DS in the other hand?
Nobody said that. You did. I would recommend not doing the beta, because I feel like betas, they're great if you're going to actually beta test, but I think a majority of the people, especially if it's a public beta, they don't really beta test anything. They don't sign on to the forums they're supposed to be signing on to. They don't submit bugs they find. They just want to play it, and it's kind of sad.
That's true. But the Dark Souls community has a really dedicated community, and I feel like a lot of hardcore people that are going to be playing the game will definitely be trying to help From Software. So.
Yeah. Well, if they didn't have hardcore, fan base or whatever helping out, then there'd be no point of public betas, really. You need feedback.
This is true. Feedback's always good. That's why they release public betas, even though people think they're just demos.
Yeah, they do.
So, as for myself, I've played 2 very familiar titles, GTA 5 and Wind Waker HD. I still haven't touched the online for GTA 5 because all the kinks appear to still have not been worked out, so I'm still waiting for that. I've been playing more Wind Waker HD, appreciating that game, and having some good memories of that game, saying like, wow, this is a great game. So that's one of the few games I can play around my daughter too.
Oh, yeah.
But that's pretty much it for me.
I'm sure the colors are good on her developing eyes.
Oh, yeah. She's at that stage, though, where she likes to walk up to the screen and kind of she gets way too close.
Yeah.
We're all like, hey, get back. Kayla, get back, get back. And she looks at us like, whatever. And, but kids will be kids.
Yeah, that's too cute.
So this is the part of the show where we kind of, where things are winding down. We move away from gaming just a little bit. We talk about current events and, pop cultural type things. This is part of our sidebar. I want to go first on this one. I watched This Is the End, and I wish it would have ended. Like after the first 20 minutes, I did not like that movie.
Why.
I did not.
Well, I watched it too.
Not a very good endorsement.
Yeah.
I watched it too, and I know what you're talking about, but my buddy and I thought it was hilarious.
There were funny parts to the movie, and since I'm known to spoil things, I'll just shut up. But the movie itself, I just put it like this. I bought the movie because I love everyone in that movie. Yeah. I was at Target,
that's why.
cruising around, picking up some juice, and I'm like, oh snap, this is the end. I want to see this, but my daughter was like a newborn when this came out. I can see it now. So I bought the Blu-ray DVD combo and all that stuff. I was like, this is going to be so funny. Oh yeah. And it had a few funny parts.
You set your expectations really high, it sounds like.
Yeah, it had a few funny parts to it, but I just couldn't rock with it. And it's like, am I going to sell it on eBay? No. But is it going to sit on my shelf and never be watched again? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's.
Would you agree that that movie was basically made for them, like for the actors? Like that's Seth's
absolutely,
movie, and that's
absolutely.
This
like
is all those.
They came
all
up
those.
with. They were just like, hey, let's hang out and film it and call it a movie.
Yeah. Like no script almost, it's he'll die and this will die and that'll happen, everybody will die. Yeah. There were some funny parts though, I agree, but yeah, it was kind of like really tongue in cheek, and you almost had to be their friends to understand some of their jokes. And at the very least, you have to have had watched every single one of all of their movies, it seems like, to get their personalities and to understand some of the things they were saying.
Yeah, I mean,
like I totally. This isn't a spoiler, I hope, but I totally call at the very beginning of the movie. Seth Rogen's in the movie. Right away, I'm like, oh, dude, his laugh is so funny. It's the same laugh no matter what. Yeah, if it's dialed to 2 or if it's dialed to 11, it's the same laugh. Of course, there was that joke. There was a joke about that where
him and Marissa Meyer or cousins or something with that laugh. Yeah. Oh yeah, do the laugh.
Yeah. That was in the movie. Some guy came up to him and said, hey, Seth Rogen, when are you going to play a different character? You always play yourself. That's pretty funny, guy. And he's like, hey, do the laugh.
Like there's that
Yeah, I called it.
There's a video of him playing The Last of Us, and he does the laugh through 70% of the video.
Yeah, but that's great.
But yeah, I didn't really care for the movie though, from a purchasing standpoint especially. Other than that, Supernatural came back. We know Ashley loves that show, and it returned in grand fashion. So I watched that, and
I love how sarcastic you can be, Mark.
No, and The Walking Dead is coming back this Sunday, so I'm all like, yay! And that's pretty much it.
Since Breaking Bad ended, I haven't been playing or watching anything. It's kind of chilling out a little bit.
She just looks at her TV, she turns it off, and she just stares at it with a menacing look.
I don't even watch TV. Like, I have a DVR that records things that I want to watch, but as for sitting down and actually airing things or watching things when they air, never happens.
It's fine. That's probably like a new generation thing. The young kids aren't really watching too much TV, which is good. They're playing video games. But I watched something. I watched the Michael J. Fox show. I was really curious about this. Have you guys heard anything about it?
No, I haven't.
I've seen commercials for it. How was it?
It was funny. It was really funny. And I was afraid that maybe he'd be poking too much fun at his disease. But he doesn't. It's actually really hilarious. And from what I've heard, the show is written like from a lot of his personal experiences. So there's a real world connection to it. And I think that makes it feel a little bit more natural. So it's really funny. I recommend it. I think I watched it on Hulu, and there's like 2 episodes right now. Maybe 3.
I might give it a look. Michael J. Fox holds a special place in my heart. So if you've been with us this long, we'd like to say thank you for listening. We will be back in video form soon. And, we just appreciate you guys checking us out. With that being said, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please be sure to send them to podcast@gamefans.com. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes. We would really appreciate that. Don't feel free to leave us some feedback. We care what you guys have to say.
Yep.
That being said, I'm your host, Mark Hearn. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hearn. Mr. is spelled out.
I'm Nick. You can follow me on Twitter at OverlordRoar.
Spell it out.
I'm not going to spell it out.
And I'm Ashley. And you can follow me on Twitter at Cosmo Crisis. Cosmo with a K.
Hey. Something's not right here.
You got her to spell. You're a champ. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
It's Marty McFly. I mean,
Yeah.
and Michael Keaton. Yeah. No, he's not Michael Keaton.
No.
Michael Keaton is Michael Keaton. Which damn Keaton
Yeah,
was
why'd
he?
you say that?
I
Why'd
don't
you
know.
even say
Edit that out. That never happened.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it in.
You'd be like, you don't know your Keatons, Mark.